Welcome to BamBam-O-Rama.
Welcome to BamBam-O-Rama. We got the schmeat. We got the schmeat.
Welcome to the BamBam-O-Rama podcast. My name is Jackson Grist.
And my name is Audrey Strutter.
And we have our wonderful guest, Matt Olgin. Say hi, Matt.
How y'all doing?
Thank you for coming.
Hey, thanks for having me.
You're looking great right now, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Did you recently have a child?
Almost 3 months ago.
3 months ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, congratulations.
It means the world to me. Like, it's cool. It's like, it's probably one of the coolest things that's ever happened to me. Between all the grandparents and everything, like, he's internet famous.
He's internet famous. I felt that way for the first 2 years of Oliver's life, too.
Yeah, just pictures everywhere. Like, hey, I didn't post that. But it's cool. Like, I'm just glad he's loved like that, you know?
You're pretty active in your baby's raising so far, right? And
yeah,
I say so far, just because it's only been 3 months. I'm sure you're not going to just stop.
It's a team effort, and you know, I don't mind it. Like, I love spending time with him. Like, I hurry home for lunch, and I hurry home like to be there with him and just hang out with him. You know.
You showed us a picture of him earlier. He's got a Micah Parsons jersey on. Is he enjoying Cowboys football right now?
Can't win them all. You got to win some, lose some.
You win some, lose some. And you, unfortunately, when you're a Cowboys fan, a lot of the losses you have are games you should have fucking won. Sorry.
He just gets so passionate, you know, about the Cowboys.
It was rough. How long have we known each other, Matt?
Man, I want to say that I met you like Shotdown House days. Like,
I think so. So we've known each other almost 20 years.
Yeah.
When did you start playing guitar?
Man, probably around a few years before then, you know, like probably like 7th, 8th grade. Like, seriously, you know, like, you know, I'd always had a guitar, like, and I would like pick at it, but like, seriously, probably about 7th or 8th grade.
What got you started on it?
Like, what made me want to play guitar?
Yeah, what made you want it? Like a guitarist out there that you looked up to? Maybe it was a song heard you like. Like, what was it?
Ace Frehley.
Ace Frehley?
Ace Frehley and that flaming or in that smoking guitar, dude. Like, man, that's why I bought my Tobacco Push Les Paul, like, because that was the first thing I seen that I was like, damn, I want to play guitar.
I think we've talked about this before. I'm not a huge fan of Kiss's music, but I love everything that Kiss embodies. Like the show that they put on is amazing, is incredible. And when I tell people, like I've told people, I'm like, it's great that I have this guitar, but I really wish that I could push this button right here and shoot rockets out of it. Yeah. Like fucking Spaceman can. Like that would be badass.
Yeah, like the Spaceman persona. I was like, man, that's so cool.
The whole idea, the whole gimmick, whatever you want to call it. And sorry if you see this, Gene Simmons, to call you a gimmick, but I respect it still. It's fucking awesome.
For sure. Like, I don't know, man. I think it kind of just draws you in. Like the music's mid tier, you know, but you know, it just draws you in because there's so much going on and there's so much like of the look and the pyrotechnics and everything. You're like, damn, like that looks amazing.
Right. One thing I thought was cool. Have you ever watched I've Kissed Live Volume 2 on DVD. Have you ever watched any of those volumes? So during that, and I don't know if it was a whole tour, or if it was just random concerts from different tours, but they did at one point in time, they had an engineer a strobe light for them. They used it when they were playing Strutter, which Strutter is my favorite Kiss song. This strobe light goes so fast that you can't see the flash, the flicker, but everyone on stage is moving all choppy like a strobe light. So at first I was like, what's wrong with this DVD? Like, I was flipping out. I was like, something's wrong with this.
And everything.
Yeah, I was like, it's my favorite song and it's fucked up. And then I looked it up and they had this strobe light engineered for that.
I want to check that out.
It's pretty cool.
Look at that.
Yeah, we can watch it after we're done with this. So
that sounds really cool. That's one of my favorites too.
In your music, did you ever try any of the pageantry stuff like that, dressing up?
No, man. That was just... Well, that was like when I was young. Like that was like the first. Whenever I seen like Ace Frehley playing the guitar and like the pickup smoking and everything, I think I was like maybe like 5 or 6 years old. So like that to me was like the biggest thing in the world. I was like, that's a rock star, you know. It wasn't like I wanted to dress up or anything. I was just like, I think I want to play guitar. Like I just liked how loud it was. Like how it just drew me in. I was like, wow, man, I think that would be really cool to do. It took a while to get the parents on board, you know. Like they're like, no, you're not going to stick with it. No, like we're not going to spend the money. And then finally one Christmas, you know, they broke down and they bought me a guitar and amp, and I was like, all right, no, I got to do this now.
All right, I got this.
So how long did it take? Did you go through lessons within that?
Back when I was younger, like, you know, you had CD players and, you know, I would carry that thing around with me all the time. So I would just listen to music and then try to make the sounds make sense on guitar, you know? And so like I built up a pretty good ear for like learning music that way. Like I never took any lessons or I never was like classically trained. I just everything I learned was just by ear, by what I heard or by what I'd see or, you know.
That's awesome. That's impressive, man.
That is really cool. So for those of you who never heard of it before, a CD was this little like round shaped thing, like a disc, and we had music on it. It wasn't just always at our fingertips on our phones like right now.
Oh.
Yeah, a little bit smaller than a vinyl because I know people are buying vinyl again.
I know.
And you
Yeah.
could scratch them and like sometimes you had to clean them and like
and
you're like, please God, work.
you had to like carry your Discman just
Yeah.
right. Like if you turned it wrong, it would skip.
Or like
Till
if you,
anti-skip technology came in.
yeah,
Which
if
didn't
you
do
had one
much.
of
I
those,
don't remember. Like,
if you had one of those, you were big money, bro.
Yeah.
Because like I think I had like the $10 one you got like at Walmart or something where you hit it and it stopped for a whole hour. You could go eat lunch and come back and it was start back over. He left off.
I remember it took a while to convince my parents to spend a little bit of money on a CD player for me. We kept getting the ones at Dollar General and they'd break after a week or two.
Or you drop them or
Like
in your
you drop them
backpack.
and it would completely fall apart. What's your favorite guitar?
Right at the moment or like ever? Because
Yeah, we can go through it a little bit. What's your favorite guitar that you've ever owned? Because you and I have talked about gear extensively.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We butted heads about gear. We've agreed about gear. I mean, you're probably the person I've talked to gear the most out of
Yeah.
anybody.
I agree with that. Same.
Yeah, what's the favorite guitar you've had in your hands, you've played, that you got to call Matt Olgin's guitar?
I'm gonna go ahead and say the latest and greatest, the Les Paul that I have, the Traditional Pro 2.
Traditional Pro 2?
No, it's just Traditional Pro. It's not.
Okay.
The 2 came out later.
And it's got I mean, we can go through all the specs, I think, almost off the top of their heads.
Yeah, the locking tuners. It has the coil taps.
I know it's got a 60s style neck.
Yeah.
Because that's the one thing I look at on all my guitars, except for my classical guitar, because that's not a thing that exists on a classical guitar. They all have 60 style necks. Oh, except for my old Explorer, which that's another reason why I'm trying to sell it. It doesn't have the neck I like. Oh, sorry.
Man, I don't know. Maybe one day I'll take it home.
You should.
When he
Yeah.
lowers the price.
Yeah.
Well,
When he takes those
I think that's where this
EMGs out.
conversation
Yeah.
ended last time I was
actually, the
listening
price
to
that
you guys talk about.
The price that I quoted to a few of my friends that I would sell it for, I'm gonna tell you right now, y'all are dumb.
Oh, wow.
Because I looked it up on Reverb. That price just went up $400.
Really?
Yeah, that thing's going for. I was gonna sell it for $8. Now I'm gonna sell it for $12.
As far as like that, well, like what made it go up? Like that is it a specific year that people are wanting, or
I think so. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it went up. It was just I was willing to sell it for $8. Then I looked at what it's going for, and I was like, I'm screwing myself. So
because I know like after I want to say like it's 2012, a lot of people didn't want anything made after 2012 by Gibson.
there was a chunk of time. Yeah, I think from 2012 to 2018, 2019, there's that era, and every guitar company has that era. Fender has 2 or 3 decades people don't want. Gibson has a lot. People don't like 90s Gibson guitars. Early 2000s to about 2012, I think, were something people wanted. Then there's another chunk of time where people don't want Gibson guitars again.
Yeah, like the robot area and stuff. Like
Those robot guitars were rough. I mean, sometimes it's just nice to get old school, take your guitar, plug it into a tube amp, crank those tubes, and rock out.
No, I have my Bad Cat put away, my tube amp. I have that one put away that way, just in case my son's ever interested in playing music. I have small practice amps that'll get me by just now, but that one's put away for him. Like,
Oh, yeah? So it's not going to make it on another stage with Matt Olgin.
oh, well, of course, it needs tubes right now, but as soon as we get something going, like we haven't done much of anything here lately, but I'd like for it to be out there with me. That thing it was like kind of one of those things. The same thing with my Les Paul. Like it was like a dream piece of gear, and then like one day throwing enough dollars in a pickle jar or whatever to save money, like
Right.
it finally added up. And I remember opening it and just being like, damn, like I for real did this, and like kicking on the light and the eyes glow. I was like, this is it for me.
It's badass, yeah.
Yeah.
Bad Cat is, I hate to say it, like I'm not trying to burst anyone's bubble. If you're a gearhead, especially guitar gearhead,
He looks at me like, what's he about to say, dude? I don't know, dude. You know he's about to talk some shit, though, when he
I'm
says
not
this.
No, I'm not about to talk shit. Most modern amps are clones of either Fender or Marshall. Do you know what it was trying to be? Or
A Bassman.
Bassman.
It has
Thank
a
you.
Bassman circuit.
So Fender Bassman, that's a
Yeah.
fucking sick
Yeah.
amp. So I don't care if it's cloning. I'm not talking shit about them making clones. I think that's
It was
great.
just
Oh, yeah.
funny, dude. When you
I was like,
started,
wait a
he
minute.
looks at me like, dude, I'm about to walk, man. Like we made eyes.
So where's he going with it?
My favorite amp over there is a clone of a Fender Tweed. Yeah, actually, it's got 2 channels in it. It's a clone of 2 amps, Fender Tweed and a Princeton reverb is what it's cloning. I mean, that's what modern amp companies do.
You know, I kick myself because like I really think my amp was a JCM 900. I really do. I had one. It was awesome, and for some dumb reason, I traded it for a Hot Rod DeVille. The Hot Rod DeVille was awesome. Like I kicked myself so much because
You
I'm
want that
like,
Marshall back?
yeah, I want that Marshall back. Like it just, and who knows where it's at now. Like I traded it to one of those guys that's always just, hey, I got this for sale, or you know, and for all I know, it's halfway across
I mean,
the
they might
country.
have traded it to someone else who traded it to someone else who traded it to someone else who sold it to somebody who got it stolen from them.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
so
that's what your favorite guitar you ever had. That's your favorite amp you ever had. If you had a dream rig, and just go with guitar and amp because we could get
Okay,
pedals is too much of a deep dive.
I'll go. Let me see. 78 Gibson Les Paul Tobacco Burst. It's gotta be Tobacco Burst. Amp, I'm gonna do a JCM 900 with reverb because they made them without cabinets. I'll probably do like some oversized Mesa cabs. Like
Mesa cabs and orange cabs are sick.
I think both
of them.
orange cabs. Like I feel like
Yeah.
they just orange and Mesa hit the mark with that oversized. Like
They really do.
yeah, and they sound good for anything really. Like you know, the metal players love them. You know, they clean up nice. Like I feel like they really hit the mark with those. So yeah, I think that's where it would be at for me.
Sick. It's a nice rig.
And then just run everything through the effects loop and call it a day. I wouldn't even need drive pedals or nothing. Just
Nice.
a few effects. You know, the effects are there to make me look like I know what I'm doing.
Right? Right. That's all effects.
Yeah.
That's all effects do. They just add the little sparkles.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, really, all you need, the only effects you need is a drive pedal, and if you're using a tube amp, you don't even technically need a drive pedal. You can just
If you got a
Crank
foot
that
switch
gain.
and it's cranked, it'll sound great.
But listen. I got to be a little bit of a pain in your ass when it's all said and done. You're talking about how this is how it's supposed to work, but you just said nothing's happening. Why not?
Man, everybody. Well, right now with I guess my current band or whatever, everybody's just kind of living life. You know, like COVID really took a toll on everybody. Like we came back and did some stuff, and you know, Oscar also became a dad.
Yeah.
So he's doing that. Everybody's kind of just doing life. Like I think once everything settles down, as far as you know, everybody doing what they want to do, we might come back and do some stuff. Or I know we have like I think like 2 unreleased tracks that I'd like to put out just for everybody to hear.
see even as singles or something.
Yeah, just stuff that we did with Phil. Like Phil Odom was like, "Hey, I'm coming through. I'll be through there because he goes to Abilene or Austin or wherever. You know, from LA. He tracked him in my living room. It was fun. It was like a cool 2 days of just like hanging out with him and tracking and you know getting all those done. And they came out killer, of course, because Phil's just got that killer ear. So I'd really like for people to hear him. Not even so much for our work. Just to hear what Phil did. Like Phil made us sound 1,000 times better.
I get you. And that band was
Horizon City.
Horizon City. How many bands have you been in?
Serious bands. I mean, like I'm gonna say like maybe like a handful, like 5 or 6.
And I think we talked about when we had Louie on here. You've done 2 bands with Louie, right? Is that
I've
thinking
been
that right?
in 3 bands with Louie.
You've been in 3 bands with Louie.
Because
Damn.
Louie mentioned a shitty emo band. That was one of the first like real bands I was in. Then
Okay.
Louie was there. For a while we were the only pop punk band in the area. That was me, Louie, and our friend Brian. And then we did the Midnight Society.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And that was the 3rd one. Yeah, I don't think that was any more with Louie.
So you did 3 bands with them. You did Horizon City. What was the 5th band? What's the one? Because you said you've been in 5 serious bands.
Run for Cover.
Run for Cover.
Yeah.
I thought Louie played bass for
Oh,
y'all
he
for a
did
minute.
play bass at that. Yeah, like for a quick
For a
second.
minute. I know. Yeah, he wasn't. I guess he was kind of a fill-in, right?
Yeah, he
Or-
was just like, yo, like I'll help y'all out. And then Jeff ended up coming in and taking over bass.
And then legend has it that Louis ended up gaining scoliosis by you packing him into a suitcase for a road trip.
I'm pleading the 5th.
I'm pleading the 5th.
I'm not that guy anymore.
I'm not record on that one.
There was times on the road we would just rip on him, and he was just like, he would laugh too, like, oh damn, that was a good one. Like,
Right. He's always a good sport. I love Louie.
but yeah, those are the only bands that I've really been in. Like, I've done some work here and there with people. Like, I played with like a couple that they were like a piano rock band. Like I played guitar for them for a second.
That's pretty cool.
It was different. Like it was a really different crowd, than I'm used to. I'm used to, the room erupting and like everybody beating each other up, and this was just like basically it was just like people clapping and like
good job.
People like drinking wine and enjoying the music, and I'm like, all right.
I do gotta say, sometimes wine bars in Midland are fun. Like when you go in and you see the old school guys playing some blues. You're like, they're ripping out Mustang Sally. Well, people are sitting here having like wine tastings. Like, what's going on? It's so weird.
Sometimes those guys are just straight beasts, and like no one's even giving them a second look. Like, and they're up there.
Oh yeah, I'm not talking shit about their talents. I just think it's funny that they're ripping out Mustang Sally.
Yeah,
like that kind of music in that setting. But that's the weird thing about this area. It works.
It's just like background noise, basically.
Yep. You said you would put Horizon City back together if y'all kind of get things back on track.
Oh, well, like I said, everybody's just kind of living life, doing their own thing. And that's cool, like I'm sure if something came up and they were like, they asked us to play, that's the thing. I could probably text them all right now and be like, hey, they want us to do this. And they'd probably be like, all right, we're down.
Are you working on any other projects? Or are you just chilling right now?
At the moment, I'm just kind of chilling, just enjoying, the time with my son and my family, my girlfriend has a little girl too. So like that keeps me pretty busy. Like, and they're fun, man. Like I like that. I have my little boy, he's just learning things, and like her little girl's hilarious. She just comes home and just says the funniest things. I'm like, where'd you even come up with this?
Dude, that's what I'll say that. I laugh a lot. My 6-year-old son is almost like having a little tiny stand-up comedian in your house. Like the shit he says, I'm like, this is hilarious. And I hope to God it never stops. Because if you're like this when you're 18, we're gonna go to a comedy club.
We're going to the comedy store.
I'm gonna sign you up for an open mic. My dreams. You're living on my dreams.
Oh yeah, she's hilarious, man, and witty. Like you could say something and she's right back at it, and it's hilarious.
Oh yeah.
And like what I've been having fun with is she got really into like Cobra Kai. So like I showed her like the Karate Kid movies, and then so like I've been showing her like the Three Ninjas movies, and like we have when she comes home Sunday, I have Surf Ninjas coming for us in the mail. Yeah. So that's gonna be happening after the game. We'll watch Surf Ninjas and hang out.
A movie just to make Game Gear sales go up.
Yeah, I was trying to remember.
Yeah, you bought one, didn't you?
Hell yeah, I got one.
No, I never got a Game Gear.
My brother had one, man.
I wanted to though. Do y'all remember the Sega Genesis Nomad when they made the Sega Genesis portable? It was Game Gear sized.
I don't remember that either.
I think it was badass. Honestly, I think I might still have mine. I'll bring it out. But I mean, honestly, yeah, it's like kind of like a Game Gear. It's got the screen on it, but you can put Genesis games in it.
How long ago was that?
It was right before, oddly enough, it was right before this. What was the first failure of a thing? Was it the Saturn that followed the Genesis? Yeah. It was right before the Saturn came out.
Oh, wow.
It was like that Nomad came out, Saturn came out, and I guess neither of them really sold well. I got one of those Nomads. I fucking loved it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, man. I want that today. Like,
right? I'm robbing him. Like
I'm about to hit eBay, dude.
Yeah, stop this.
This is dumb.
Oh, everybody shut it off.
Shut it off.
We're wasting time.
I mean, but now they make so many aftermarket stuff. You can buy consoles that you can put any cartridge in.
Yeah, there's a handheld that has, they're just emulators. They're loaded up with ROMs, and they can do up to like Xbox 360, PlayStation.
They're not
2s.
even that much. Like I think
like
I've
$70
seen
bucks.
Yeah, they're cheap.
I think the most I've seen one was like $200 or something.
You'd spend more. You'd spend more money buying a refurbished Nintendo than you would buying that little handheld emulator thing.
So here on BamBamORama, we like to do this thing where we try to weasel into everyone's business or get them to weasel with us into our business.
Okay.
Right? I don't know how to weasel into Matt's business because right now his business is being a dad, and I'm not coming over to try to weasel into that.
Would you be interested in helping us write some ditties, if you will, that are like background music for our channel?
Yeah, like I think I could do that.
We don't have to commit to any time frames right now, but just when you get some free time, since
I'll have my people call your people.
Yeah, thank you.
There you go.
And my people means just get at me.
I pictured your people being your son. You're like, he's like trying to pick up the phone. He can't. He's like
my people. I can't talk to you, my people.
He's chewing on it.
Yeah, he's terrible with balancing a checkbook. He's getting better,
He's getting better. He'll get there.
Yeah, he's my son. We're not good with math. No, what I was excited to talk about was me and Jack know each other through like the Shotdown House, like all those musicians that I grew up with. good. Like I was really, I figured that would come up at some point.
Absolutely. Actually, you know what? We speaking on that, we've been doing some work with Luke McDonald these
Have
days.
you?
Not musically. Luke McDonald now owns a videographer company
Nice.
called Film Hunter Media. We've been doing a little bit of collabs with them. They've been helping us with projects. We've been helping them with projects.
They had their script. So we're doing, he filmed a feature that we get to at least say this much about, where Jackson is the lead and the star. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
In a little short horror film. It'll be.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool. Yeah, man. I used to hang out with Luke and Marcus all the time. Like, we'd go watch Shot Down play at the house, you know?
Yep. Just to give everybody background a little bit. Back in the music scene, there was this band called Shot Down in Left Field. And it felt like, and sometimes still feels like, they were the most popular thing to happen in Midland, Texas, especially as far as like, I guess, post-hardcore music went. I think that's kind of what their genre was. It felt like they invented the house show. I know they didn't, but it was just because like they would practice so often, almost 2 or 3 times a week, and people would just come over.
Yeah, and just hang out.
Sometimes just to watch them practice, even though they knew they would see them at the show. Any show that got booked, they were on. They knew they would see them, but they're still going to hang out at the house and watch them practice. It was amazing.
Like, to me, they were, they were like the first band we knew, like, other than, bands that we would listen to and buy their CDs. Like, they were like the first band we knew, like, in person. So they were like the coolest dudes in the world. They were like, dang, like, they would invite us to watch us play or whatever. And we were just like in awe, like, man.
They were cool dudes.
Yeah,
man.
and it was cool music. Like, when Shot Down broke up, I actually got like the opportunity to like jam with Marcus. He still lived at the house for a while. So like I would go, like I went to school half days. So like after I'd get out at noon, so I'd go to the Shot Down house after, and I'd go hang out with Marcus, and we would track things, and like I feel like he made me a way better guitar player.
Marcus really does. He's got a way to work with people because he doesn't. One thing to say that a lot of musicians forget, and they make it, a lot of musicians around here, especially, and it's probably not exclusive to Midland, Texas. A lot of musicians get real competitive about it. I'm a better guitarist, and so blah, 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 blah. When really music should be a community. And Marcus really is one of the people who understands that the most, I feel like, because he'll jam with you regardless of what your level is. And he's always going to try to elevate you to the next step. And he's always been that way. I haven't jammed with him in a minute, but I imagine he's still willing to do that.
It's been a good while for me too, but like that was really cool for me because I was so used to watching his band and being like, dang, like those guys are so good. And then like I got the chance to like jam with him and sit down with him, and like he was super cool about everything. And I even got to, like, when Luke and Adam and Trevor and Jeremy, they started How to Start a Fire, like I had to go hang out with them quite a bit too, and I got to like jam with Luke, and Luke showed me a lot of stuff too. It was like, so those guys were like my heroes. Like,
oh yeah, Luke's always been that way too.
Yeah,
he's never been competitive.
Yeah,
he's
super cool dude, man. Yeah. Like they were just like my heroes, and then like the fact that like they would show me things, or I got to jam with them. I was just like, bro, it's just crazy. Like it meant the world to me because like they just showed me a lot of things. Like Marcus was the first person I'd ever seen record. Like he had this small little like desktop setup, and like he would track a lot of the stuff that we would do. Like Luke was the person that kind of showed me like pedals and stuff. Like he always had a really cool pedal board, and like whenever they weren't jamming or whatever, like he'd let me mess with this pedal board or play through his amp. Like he was always super cool. He was like one of the first people that I ever saw play a PRS like in person. Mm-hmm. Like I'd always seen him in like guitar magazines and stuff, but that was like the first one that I'd ever seen up close.
I remember because before Shot Down, he was, I can't remember the name of the band. Shot Down just added a singer, but it was the band they had in high school. Mm-hmm. And then they all moved from Andrews to Midland, added a singer, and they became a different band. But either way, I remember playing the high school talent show in Andrews, and Luke walked up and he had that PRS, and the first time I've ever been in a room with PRS, I was like, that thing's so cool. I was playing on some $200 Dean acoustic that like I thought was a big deal until that thing was in front of me.
And you were like, dang, man.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
Like one of the times that I jammed with Marcus, I was like, hey dude, like show me how to play Denial. Like that old Shot Down song.
Yeah.
Like I was like, hey dude, so can you like show me how to play it? Like I was like all geeking out, like, hey dude. And I was like, damn, I was so close. Like I was like this close,
How old were you, did you say?
Well, at that time, I was probably like 16 or 17.
Yeah.
That was when they were all working at like the Dollar Theater.
What, they were like 18, 19?
Yeah, they were
God, dude.
probably about that time, that old.
That was one of the best times. So I don't remember if you and I ever talked about this. We had almost everyone who lived in the shot down house worked at the Dollar Theater. No one's going to get in trouble now. That's not even a building anymore. We would go up there after hours, and we would just like, they would start a movie, we would hang out. People were smoking cigarettes in the movie theater because the ventilation in those theaters are amazing. You can smoke cigarettes in them and no one will ever know unless they're sitting right next to you. And it was fun too. When we do these after hours things too, we'd also fill up trash bags of popcorn because popcorn is dirt cheap. They sell it for $6 a bucket, and that doesn't even.
Now it's like $20.
It's like 20. Yeah. But I mean, to make the trash can full that we made honestly didn't cost the place 10 cents. I don't think.
I mean, it's pretty cheap.
It's really cheap.
I remember they had one of those giant trash bags of popcorn. Dominic had booked my band, the first shitty emo band that Louie talks about, to like play with Shot Down Left Field and Crew Jones.
Oh, Crew Jones.
And so like we were all there at the house. Dominic's mom had made like this giant pot of spaghetti. So we were all hanging out eating, and like before the show, the Shot Down guys like got the Crew Jones guys to go outside and dumped all that popcorn on them.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Laughing.
That moment is in the Crew Jones DVD.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was this band called Crew Jones. They were touring. They had a videographer crew follow them around. They made a DVD of one of their tours, and a lot of them being in Midland and staying at the Shot Down house was on that DVD. That was one of the funnest times they had. They even came back. I think one time in between one of their tours, they just came to Midland just to hang out.
That's always cool.
Yeah, those guys were super cool. And then like
those guys were cool as shit.
Dude, like I wish I could find their music. Like,
is it not on Spotify?
I've looked, and then like when I used to work at Hastings, I special ordered their CD, and it took like, I kid you not, like 6 months, and it came in, and then I lost it.
On my iTunes on that Mac, I still have both CDs. I'll burn it for you.
You got excited.
Yeah, I'll burn it for you.
Please, just for the whole fact of like remembering all those times, like yes, please.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope that's okay, Crew Jones. I don't know if y'all are going to see this, but we miss you. Please do a reunion.
Yeah, for sure.
So maybe we can make that happen. I'll start helping scour for that because I'm interested in this DVD too. We do want to thank you all for joining us. We want to thank Matt Olgin over here. We really appreciate you sitting down and having some chat with us. I'm interested, and I'm certain anybody else that is listening will be interested as well. So that's why I already say, let's get you back in here.
Absolutely.
Even without conferring with this guy.
I think so far we've decided every guest we've had we're bringing back.
I'd be happy to be back. Like it's always fun with you guys anyway, and then just talking about the good old days, you know.
Hey, once again, thanks to Matt Olgin. Don't forget that we've got Louie and the Liars with their new album Snake Oil.
Matt Olgin's band Horizon City is also on streaming services, right?
Yeah, we're on Spotify and Tidal and all that.
And tell Matt Olgin to make more music.
If you need anything done on your guitar end, Jeremy Calley, Trailer Made. And then, of course, AudreyAdamsArt.com.
Make sure you're following BamBamORama on all the socials.
Horizon City on Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram, too, if you want.
And we're definitely going to get those links in the description for y'all.
Thank y'all. Love
Thanks,
y'all.
Matt.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. Love you guys.
Yep.